What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? It is your boy Sean Spencer, one half of that dynamic duo that is Let's Talk Football. And ladies and gentlemen, it's Sunday, baby. Football is back. Let's go. Let's go.
Finally.
It's been a long time. It is finally back here. You saw we had a game on Thursday. We will dive into that in a little bit. But we have games today. But look, I'm not by myself. Whenever Let's Talk Football is on, we always roll deep. We always got numbers, baby. And I'm gonna start with the youngest one. The youngest one over here. The man that is taking over the game from a young age. My guy, Mr. Dylan Walsh. What up,
I'm ready to pick against the Bears every single week this year.
Wow. Bang, bang.
Because I truly believe they're going 0-17.
Woo! There we go. Wow. What's up, Andrew? Starting early. It's like Nick. Hold it in. I got you. Look, right under Mr. Dylan, my guy, the guy that is #1 reporter in the WNBA, who is stealing every single sport. He is dominating, covering each and every one of them. Late night, day, everything. There's too many accolades for me to sit here and tell this guy, my guy, Mr. Nathan Snell.
Nate Dog, what's up, Nate? Yeah, Goldberg.
Yeah, I smell what the Rock's cooking, my friend. Yes, sir.
That's right. He's the Goldberg of sports.
Let's go. And you hear him. I know you probably heard him all the way from Chicago.
That's right, baby. Chi-Town in the house. What up?
Getting a little smoky in here. Because my guy, Mr. Nick, I want the smoke. Rosario is back. What up, Nick?
Yes. Hey, I'm doing well. Let me just say one thing here. See, this is what happens when you have inexperience in the room.
Oh, my
Mr.
goodness.
Young, Dylan Walsh, talking about an 0-17. Like, stop drinking that Packer Kool-Aid, my friend, because you're in for another heartbreak season when you lose in the playoffs again with your zero receiving core and, so-so running game. So don't come at me, pal, with your hot take.
And Aaron Jones.
Well, watch what happens this year.
Hey, bang. Can we holster our guns right now? Can we holster
Yeah,
for
go
a
ahead.
second so we get it?
Sure.
Shout out to the people that are watching. Colin Wall saying Pittsburgh is going to the Super Bowl.
Super Bowl of 8-9.
Oh, yeah. I got somebody right in that corner that would beg to differ with that. Nick, the weather. Oh, my God. Oh, yeah.
Yep, it's pouring here in Chicago, my friend. It's going to be a messy one. So see how it goes.
Here we go. And I don't know how to say the name, but who they? All right, let's see if they're going to come back. Hey, stay with us because we definitely going to talk about your team. Look, first and foremost, football is back. But before I do that, man, I got to shout out my people, man. I got to talk to my guy. We got to do birthdays real quick. My guy tomorrow, Mr. Anton Benton, Mr. Moral Support. His birthday is tomorrow. He's celebrating this whole weekend. I wish I could be out there with you, my dude, but I cannot. This guy, look, there was a point when it was just Let's Talk Football. Janae was going to Australia. I went to Virginia Beach and visited my guy, and I said I don't know if I'm going to do this anymore. I don't know if I can do this, man. I don't have anybody else do this. He said, if you want to keep it up, he said, you got to keep going. You got to keep going. I'd already been talking to my guys, Nick and Delilah. We got the round table going. Nathan hopped on. From then, the ball has just been rolling. So I got to shout out my guy, Mr. Anton Benton. I appreciate you, my dude. So happy birthday to you, no doubt about it. And look, we're going to do a real quick commercial because he's a handyman, so I got to support my people. We'll be with you right after this.
Hey there, ladies and gents. Your local handyman, Anton Benton, here to help you with your problems. I'm here right now on the job site, taking out whole kitchen cabinets. A little bit more work to do, but if you got a project at your house that you need to get completed, I'm your guy to finish it up for you. Give me a call, let me know what you need to get done.
Your new company, man. Shout out to your new company. Go ahead and tell the world about your new company real quick.
Oh boy! So, marketing, Anton Benton Pros.
Yes.
Doing everything from plumbing to electrical to making huge decks to doing closets.
Yes.
Doing it all. Doing it all.
That's what's up, man. I'm super happy
Thank
for
you guys. Thank you.
Yeah, buddy. So get at my guy, Mr. Anton Benson. He definitely travels. He is stationed in the 757 right now, which is Virginia Beach, but he will definitely travel. He does good work, man. Pay attention to him. Get at him. And, yeah, happy birthday to you, my guy. But listen, we got to get into some football. We see the people watching. Oh, man. Mr. Kyle Yates talking at you, Nick. And, Nick, let's talk about the loss you're getting this week. Oh. Ooh.
Take it. It's okay, Kyle. Kyle's from Canada. They don't understand all the the intricacies of stuff. Come on. No, explain. Our neighbor to the north is.
Oh yeah. What's going on? As saying, hey, let's get into it right away. Dylan, I'm gonna come to you. The Thursday night football game. Last year's defending Super Bowl champs, the Rams, played what many people project as this year's favorites to go to the Super Bowl, if not to win it. But it was not the game that we all thought it would be. The Bills crushed the Rams 31-10. Dylan, were you expecting this, or what were your thoughts, man?
It's a very interesting game because at halftime it was 10-10, and then it's like, 17-10. It's gonna be a close game. And then Matthew Stafford threw a couple interceptions. Jalen Ramsey had an awful game. Got absolutely murdered. Had a lot of perfect passer rating against him. Yeah. And then the Rams just never was able to get back to where they were in the first half because Allen Robinson was doing nothing. Van Jefferson was out. Cam Akers was doing nothing. Whole 3 carries for 0 yards.
Yeah.
So as soon as they stopped Cooper Kupp, the Rams offense was just gone.
Yeah. No, yeah, you're absolutely right. And that was weird, man. That's weird. But I want to spotlight on one thing you said. And Nathan, I'm coming to you. You and I talked about this before. There was one guy that we know year after year has been talking. He's dubbed one of the greatest corners of all time. Or not of all time, but at least in the league right now. And Jalen Ramsey. But like Dylan was saying, burnt toast, man. He got burned a bunch of times. Diggs sat there and got in his face one time and said, I don't hear you talking. Like, talk to me about that. Because I'm not going to overreact. But has he fallen off or, last year, the same thing happened? What do you think, Nate?
No, I don't think he's falling off. We still got 10 games of football left. Jalen Ramsey, he does like to chirp, but when you do put him in check, yeah, you do. He is nowhere to be found. I think he's going to be better next week. But this was he just got punched in the mouth, and I'm glad Marlon Turp did it. So, I've seen that before from Jalen Ramsey with Steve Smith when he was a Raven. He checked him. I mean, Jalen Ramsey is just one of those guys. You can't let him get in his head. Yeah. You let him get. If you get in his head, you've beaten him. It's just one of those. You gotta let your play do the talking. So I'm glad that it got put in check to make him start working signs and be better.
Oh yeah. Well, we'll see how, like you said, and that was a great point. First game of the year, let's not overreact. Buffalo is legit. Stephon Diggs is one of the best in the leagues, and he proved it in that game. But, I want to focus on the Rams, Nick. I honestly do, man. Like, Matt Stafford, we know he's been dealing with the tendonitis. We know he's been dealing with that, but he threw 3 picks. What's his name? Dylan talked about Cam Akers, who really did not do anything. A lot of people in fantasy were talking about he was supposed to be this guy this year, the sleeper. Kupp had his normal day, 13 catches for 128 yards, but who else was doing much of anything? You know what I mean? Like, what happened to the Rams, man?
Well, one thing that kind of puzzled me was that Akers didn't even play in the first quarter.
Yeah.
Like, Henderson got all the reps in that first quarter. Like, why did that even happen, Mr. McVay? Like, what was going on there because like you said, everybody came into this year with Akers as the number one, and they even said Akers was, the featured back, and all of a sudden he doesn't play the whole first quarter.
Right.
Like, maybe there's something else there we don't know about. Because like you said, he had 3 carries and managed 0 yards. So, and then McVay says, well, he has to take advantage of his opportunities. Well, if you don't play for an entire quarter, how the hell are you going to take advantage of your opportunities? And like you said, by the time he got in there, like this Buffalo defense is not terrible by any means. They're a very good defense. So you're going to sit there and tell me that, well, the guy doesn't play the whole first quarter, and then he comes in and he didn't take advantage of his opportunities. He had 3 carries. So I don't know. But like you said, as a whole, the offense was a disaster after that first half. Like, I don't know what happened in the second half. Matthew Stafford looked like, his third year in Detroit, Matthew Stafford, just throwing the ball everywhere, and everybody else is catching it but his players. And then you had and then he criticized apparently Allen Robinson for not going after that jump ball in the end zone.
That was
Well, I'm saying, but there's a video going around where he apparently tells Sean McVay he didn't even go for the ball. And it's like, dude, you threw up a toss-up in the damn end zone in the back of the end zone. Really? I mean, I know guys are supposed to fight for balls, but come on, bro. Yeah. So there was a lot going on there. The Rams, I mean, I assume the Rams will rebound. Yeah. I don't think, they're not a horrible team by any means, but you got spanked on Thursday night. You take the loss, you take the whooping, and hopefully you move on from that and, you get better. But, yeah, you got spanked, and there's just no way around it.
Now, look, real quick, I do want to ask you, because you did mention your old guy, Mr. Allen Robinson. Yeah. Talk to me about that. Was that, when he was in Chicago, it's a, big fish, little market. Now he's the Rams. He's a little fish, big market. Like, what happened to him? Because he fell off.
See, that's the thing, though. Allen Robinson has actually, that's carried him, though. There was times where he did hustle in Chicago, and people said, this guy's a lazy receiver. Like, he doesn't always go after it. He doesn't know, he's lackadaisical. His routes are not always the best. I mean, but this is the first time, really, he's played with a good quarterback. So everybody was willing to see what Allen was going to do, and I won't lie, I drafted him. The reason Kyle is talking all that crap he is to me is because I have 2.2 points because I had both Cam Akers and Allen Robinson, and Allen Robinson had 1 catch for 12 yards. So that's why Kyle's saying he's going to beat me this week. But when I turn it around on him with Jonathan Taylor and the boys, he's still going to lose this week. So Kyle, start crying in your beer. But anyways, I digress. Fact is, yeah, I'll be honest. I'll be anxious to see what happens with Allen Robinson because, again, there is a lot of knocks against him, but he's supposed to be better, and we'll see if Matthew Stafford and him make a connection. That's it.
We shall see. Look,
shall see. The Rams' offensive line as well was so bad. They were a sieve. 6 or 7 sacks without ever being blitzed once.
Yeah.
Von Miller
they were a
3 or so. It was awful. So it's like, especially with Cam Akers only having 3 carries for 0 yards, he has to run behind that O line, and has a whole 3 carries to try to do something behind that O line. So they really
That's what I said.
And a lot of people.
Yeah, go ahead.
They don't have Von Miller on defense, so you look at a whole new identity with the Rams. He didn't really spend much in free agency. I mean, they really couldn't money because they're tied down. So. I mean, I think a lot of it's just more of chemistry issues. I think they'll get it straightened out these next couple weeks. So,
Oh yeah. Kyle is out here. Got my fire extinguisher on standby. No fires this fall. Oh my God. Oh my goodness. Let's go. Yeah. Look, I agree with you guys. I mean, we will see how it all plays out coming into this year. Yes, it was not a good start, and we know about McVay. McVay has never been under 500 in his career. He has never lost a season opener, but he did this week. So we'll see how he rebounds. Cooper Kupp still did what he did, but like you said, with the O-line, Whitworth is out, and on that left side, it's a lot of young talent, rookies and younger guys. Then you got Vaughn on the other side, who is becoming a mercenary. Wherever he goes, he just does a little bit here and there, but he still has us thinking he's one of the top guys. So we'll see what Buffalo does. That's what we expected from Buffalo. But the Rams, interesting. Very interesting. But look, speaking of the Rams, they are the defending Super Bowl champs. We got to go to the other side. The other team that lost the Super Bowl, Cincinnati. Cincinnati, they shocked a lot of us, beating the Titans, getting to the championship, ended up winning the winning the AFC to get to the Super Bowl. But a lot of people are kind of iffy. Like, was it a fluke? Was it for real? Dylan, I'm going to come to you. They lost the Super Bowl. We know about that. But they had a jam-packed in, a solid year. Like, we know Jamar Chase, Mixon, Joe Burrow. They know the games they won, they lost. But, is this going to be a hangover this year? Are they going to?
So the Bengals, so they lost Super Bowl last year after like being the 4 seed and beating the Chiefs, beating the Raiders, beating the Titans. But the one big thing of why they lost Super Bowl last year was the offensive line.
Right.
Because the offensive line, but in free agency this year, they signed La'el Collins, they signed Alex Kappa, they get Jonah Williams back, so they've upgraded the offensive line to help protect Joe Burrow. And while Jesse Bates is probably in his last year at Cincy, they got his replacement in the first round this year with Dax Hill. So they've definitely like gotten better, but so has like everyone else in the AFC. Like the Dolphins gotten better. The AFC West is stacked. So Cincinnati's gonna have a very tough schedule this year. I don't think they're gonna be able to make it back to like the AFC Championship or Super Bowl this year.
Yeah, and look, and you talk about a stacked AFC. Nathan, I'm coming to you. We don't even have to leave their division. You know, we've talked about it many a times how the AFC North was riddled with injuries. You know, Baker, Chubb, and the Cleveland being down. We talked about Pittsburgh. Lamar went down, and you didn't have any starting corners. You know, after in the month of December. You know what I mean? Late. So, I mean, can they even make it out of the AFC North?
No, I don't see it, to be honest. I look at Pittsburgh. You know, they got everybody back healthy, even though they got Mitch Trubisky starting. Cleveland, when they get Watson back, for now, Jacoby that's going to hold the fort down. I mean, there were just a lot of injuries, honestly and truthfully, just throughout the Baltimore, Cleveland, and Pittsburgh. So I said it before, the team that stays the healthiest the most is a chance to win a championship. And I think with the AFC North a little bit better in terms of talent, I just don't see it repeating. I don't.
Yeah, I can see that. And shout out to Hank, thank you for saying Bengals are going to have a post-Super Bowl hangover year, starting with them getting blown out by the Steelers.
It's my whole family's drinking the Steelers Kool-Aid, I guess.
Wow. Wow, I see you shaking your head, Nick. Look, you have talked to me many times. You know how good they are. Will it be a Super Bowl hangover, Nick? Like,
I mean, I don't know what everybody is so down on the Bengals. Like Dylan said, you improved your offensive line, which was your glaring hole last year. Joe Burrow's second year or third year, kid's gonna have a great. He still has one of the best receiving corps in the NFL, along with Joe Mixon in the backfield. What are you guys thinking about? Are you kidding me? They can't repeat in the AFC North? What? You think Pittsburgh is going to overtake them? You think Cleveland, without their quarterback for 13 weeks, is going to overtake them?
It's only 12.
Come on, guys. Whatever. But I'm saying he comes back week 13 against the Texans. So he's out 12 weeks. Come on, man. You got to be kidding me with that tape. And again, I mean, the Ravens could be their toughest competition, but you know what the Ravens' problems are. J.K. Dobbins is not starting again, bro. You're going to have running back issues again this year? I mean, come on. You guys got to be kidding me with this. Seriously. I think the Bengals will win the AFC again. Now, they may not get back. I'm not saying they're going to get back to the Super Bowl. The AFC is way tough this year. Yeah. But I think they could easily win that division, be back in the playoffs, maybe not get as far as the Super Bowl. But the Bengals are going to compete this year, man. As much as the AFC is tough, I mean, I don't understand half of that conversation. But again, that's just me. I don't see where the Bengals got worse in any way. If anything, they improved. So I don't know what everybody's talking about. But again, what do I know, right? Ha.
There you go, David. I'll give you an opportunity to reply to that.
Like I hear you, Nick, and I don't disagree with what you're saying, but I'm not going to ignore how three teams in the same division and Cincinnati was the only one that was untouched. Like, when you're the healthiest team, that matters. And then let's now you played, and when you got in the playoffs, no one expected Tennessee to choke the way they did. You do question. Las Vegas almost had, but then there was play calling. I'm not saying they can't repeat, but it's just going to be tougher, especially when you got three now healthy teams, especially in your same division. I just don't think it's easy to just win the AFC North.
Kyle said, I agree with Nick. There's fire to this smoke. Interesting. Colin saying 10-7 versus 9-7-1. Yeah.
Yeah, let me talk about this one. Well, the Bengals. So in the offseason, though, the Bengals got way better. They signed Leo Collins, signed Alex Kappa, like I said. They got the center from the Dolphins, Ted Karras. They lost TJ Uzama. They got Hayden Hurst, who's still a very viable tight end.
Yeah.
They have Trey Hendrickson, who's coming off a breakout season. They're gonna have Sam Hubbard, who's injured all of last year, back. Plus Logan Wilson, who's a young player that's coming in, and still Jesse Bates and Von Bell. Their only weakness on their team right now is probably their corners. While the Steelers lost their starting quarterback, they also have 0 cornerbacks. Their strong safety is also not very good. Is it Terrell Edmonds? So the Steelers definitely got worse this offseason, while the Bengals definitely got way better this offseason.
It's going to be very interesting. Okay. All right, Colin. We know you're a Steelers fan. All right. Zach Taylor, one of the most overrated coaches. They wanted to be fired for last year. Suddenly Joe Burrow carries his team, and then suddenly he's the coach of the year voting. I don't get it. Wow.
I that's another thing I hate. What's it? All fan bases give their coaches or the quarterbacks 1 year to do something. As soon as they don't do something that 1 year, fire them, trade them. Like Tua, Tua this year. Tua hasn't had an offensive line his entire career. Oh, he can't throw deep. Yeah, he has -4 seconds to throw the ball deep.
Well,
so how's he going to do that?
Very true. But look. Let's go into this. We can go back and forth on this question all day long. But there are some facts to quarterbacks getting their debut, and then maybe not getting that opportunity again. Nick, I'm going to come to you. You put up something in our group chat that we had this morning. I thought it was amazing, and I want to talk about it. Joe Burrow is just one of, I think, 16 quarterbacks to debut, and the guys that came before him, they didn't return. So if you look here on this list, Nick, go ahead and talk to me about it. Jimmy G, Jared Goff, Matt Ryan, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, it was amazing to me that guys who made their Super Bowl debut never went back the second time. Like 16 quarterbacks. I mean, and look at them, Matt Ryan. I mean, guys in this list, Jimmy Garoppolo, Jared Goff. I mean, Donovan McNabb. I mean, look at
Grossman.
Hey, sexy Rexy. Right, he took my beloved Bear to the Super Bowl. Come on. Like, what can you do? I mean, we lost to the Colts, but hey, Rexy got us there, right? What are you going to do? But that's what I'm saying. Like, that's an interesting stat, and I didn't realize it was that many quarterbacks, 16. Yeah. And you're right. Like I said, I think it will be tough for them to get back to the Super Bowl. It doesn't mean they won't have a good year, but I think there's something to that. I mean, there is, some people like, sophomore jinx or sophomore slump or whatever. But, again, I think Cincinnati, as far as the year they have, I still think, like I said, they'll win the AFC North. They won't be killers. They're not going to be like 15-2. But, I mean, again, you're 11-6, 12-5, somewhere in that range probably. So, I mean, I still think they'll have a great year. The Super Bowl is going to be a lot harder to get to, and it's with anyone. It's hard to repeat. We all know that. It doesn't happen all that often, unless you're the Patriots, I guess, sometime. But anywho, the old Patriots. But yeah, I think Cincy still has a good year. I think Cincy still has a good year, and I still think that they're still the team to beat the AFC North, is all I'm saying. I get Nate's point about injury because you're right. You have to stay healthy. It's a long season. I get all that. But I just think Cincinnati still comes on top of the AFC North, and then we'll see what they do in the playoffs.
Yeah. And they're saying Matt Ryan was close. Made to the conference championship the year after. But like you said, it's not easy. People think, you get the Patriots, you get the Niners a couple years back, the Broncos did it. When you get these back-to-back, people think it's so easy to do that. But getting it together for 1 year is something.
It's hard
and then
enough.
being able to repeat that, we look at a couple years back, Tampa Bay won it. And what did they do? They resigned all 22 starters. What happened? You have injuries that you can't account for. You have just slumps. You can't account for a lot of these things. They weren't able to make it back. Then you look at the Rams, who a bunch of their guys, Whitworth was left. OBJ wasn't there. Van Jeff, Robert Woods, Sony Michel. A lot of the guys from the Super Bowl team are no longer on the team. And then you get that result. So it's so hard to repeat. And not saying about the Rams, we still don't know what's going to happen with this year, but it's going to be interesting to see how it plays out down the line. But yeah, so we will see what happens with the Cincinnati Bengals, ladies and gentlemen. But we are going to go ahead and move on. But before we do, ladies and gentlemen, let's have a quick little dance break. Brought to you by my North Carolina Tar Heels. 3-0. Let's go. When you're the host of the show, you can put on your stuff. Nathan, you want to put Maryland stuff on? Let's go.
I mean, technically, UNC is better than Texas A&M now.
Oh, yeah.
Wow, yeah.
Barely. Well, we gave up 61 daggone points.
You gave up 40 in the fourth quarter.
40 in the fourth.
Yeah,
right.
I was going to say, let's not dance too much there, pal. You gave up 40 points to Appalachian State in the fourth quarter. Come on. And if you're lucky you didn't lose that game. So yeah, let's not get too excited.
Oh, I know.
But I'll take point conversions that probably should have been converted.
That's got to be the only time. What happened, Nathan? Say it again.
Dance break, more like study break.
Oh my goodness. Okay, all right, Nathan. You got one more time, buddy. Where's the flag? You need to throw a flag on that one. All right?
Hey, he's happy because his Maryland Terrapins are playing well. Okay, let's give Nate some there.
I get two. Who have they
played? Hey, a win's a win, bro. Right, as a win, not a win. You're happy. Let Nate have his time. Maryland, go Maryland.
We have to move on, ladies and gentlemen. We're so glad you guys are here with us. But one of the things that is going on, we know today is the first game for many of the teams in the league. There's obviously some night games and a Monday night. But with that, there's something that's unique about this season. There are a number of quarterbacks who are starting with new teams. And at one point, most of these quarterbacks started somewhere else, and now they're almost rejuvenating their career. Some of them potentially on their last leg. Some of them maybe trying to restart their career. Some of them with baggage. All of them with some kind of baggage. Let's go ahead and look into these quarterbacks. And I'm going to come to you first, Nick. We got Mitch and going to Pittsburgh. We know he started with you guys. We got Mariota in Atlanta. Matt Ryan, who left Atlanta for Indy. Wentz in Washington. Geno in Seattle. Wilson leaving Seattle for Denver. And Baker, still talking, in Carolina. Look, I mean, talk to me about what do you think about these? I mean, starting with your quarterback right there, Mitch.
Well, I think Mitch does get a kind of a second chance. I mean, he wasn't going to play in Buffalo last year, let's be honest. So this is definitely his second chance to prove that he can be an NFL quarterback. Yeah. Now, again, he's in a better situation in general just because he has a better head coach in Mike Tomlin than he had in Matt Nagy in Chicago. Let's just be honest about that up front. So, I'm sure there's more support for Mitch because it's been very well documented that Matt Nagy was not a Mitch Trubisky fan and tried to implement his offense and go against all of the strengths that Mitch has. So that's why that offense never worked and never would have. So I'm kind of happy for Mitch that he gets a second chance here. But I'm going to reserve judgment till, I'm going to see what the kid can do. I know he can throw. I've seen his arm. He can move out of the pocket, and that's what you got to do. You got to roll him out, get him into situations where he can read what's in front of him because he's not the best at reading defenses. But if you get the kid out of the pocket and you get him moving and, he can do some things for you. So I'll be interested to see what he does, with guys like, Deontay Johnson and Chase Claypool and all these guys. We'll see what Mitch can do with them, and hopefully Mitch has a good year. He's got a great back in Najee Harris. So I think you give Mitch a little protection, you give him some time, you see what he can do. I think he'll be okay. Now, to me, as far as these lists, and I'll be really quick with this, how can you not feel like Russell Wilson is set up for an MVP season with going to Denver? With the talent he has there. But I mean, come on.
First 2 weeks.
No, what? Yeah, I know, but you got Cortland Sutton, Jerry Jeudy, Javonte Williams. You got a good defense there. I mean, I think Denver's going to make some noise in that AFC West for sure. Again, he's in the best. I think he's in the best situation of all these quarterbacks. I would say maybe Matt Ryan is second in terms of being set up to succeed in a way. But yeah, I think you got to look at Denver with Russ and go, hey, I like what you guys can do there. Again, and I know people injuries, yeah, but as long as they stay healthy, man, I look for Denver to do big things. I think Russ lucked up, got into a better situation for himself. This line will protect him, unlike Seattle's protecting him last year. So I think Denver does well. Russ is in a good situation, and Matt Ryan, I believe, is also.
Well, yeah, and you mentioned Denver, and it's funny because he's actually going to one of the mini revenge games this weekend where he's going to play Seattle, who now all of a sudden, after he left, procured a line. They have an offensive line with some of the rookies and some of the moves that they've made. So, and with Gino, they will potentially protect Gino, who is starting over there a little bit better.
I know.
Dylan, I'm coming to you, man. I kind of agree. Matt Ryan is a great spot. Russ potentially is a great spot. I don't know if he'll have instant success, but Dylan, who do you think on this list is in the best spot to have a good year this year?
Well, so obviously, like Russell Wilson's in a great spot, going from the Seattle team that had 2 wide receivers and nothing else. The Broncos now have still 2 very good wide receivers, decent tight end, even without Noah Fant, an actual offensive line. But I think out of everyone here, probably Matt Ryan's set up the best because he's got the offensive line. Colts offensive line has been very good since Andrew Luck retired. And they have Jonathan Taylor, so he doesn't have to worry about having to throw the ball every play. And he still has Michael Pittman, a big body. His Paris Campbell, who, if he can stay healthy, is a great speedster. So I think Matt Ryan is probably set up best for success, especially in a pretty weak AFC South. So I think they're probably the best chance to go as far as they can in the playoffs.
Yeah, let me ask you this, because this comment came out earlier. Colts have not won an opening game in 8 seasons. Will they beat the Texans today?
I hope so. I mean, this is the Texans. But listen, I remember the last time this happened. The Colts, they haven't won in Jacksonville in however many seasons. And all of us.
Remember what happened there? And I called it, baby.
Yeah, all of us but Nick just went, there's no way that the Jaguars can win. Who cares? These don't actually matter at all. But then we saw it matters. So
it matters, baby.
So I think the Colts will win. But I can see it being a very close game just from these years past.
Oh, yeah. Definitely see.
Davis Mills and Dameon Pierce, baby. There you go.
Hey, come on. Watch out. Now, you want to talk about things that don't matter. Check the screen, Nathan.
Wow.
Sean, strike one.
Yeah, strike one for Sean. That's right. There you go.
Let's go.
Get him, Nate. Get him.
Yeah. Yo, but Nathan, what are you thinking? What are you thinking on this list? You see the guys, Mariota, Matt Ryan, Wentz. Who do you think's going to have the success?
I think all of them will have moderate success. I'm going to give an honorable mention, Jacoby Brissett. He showed flashes starting in Miami. The next 12 games he'll be the guy in Cleveland. Gino right now, between him and Drew Lock, they're just placeholders in 2 and get most likely for this season. Because by all means, it looks like Seattle will draft the new franchise face, in my opinion. I think they'll draft a quarterback next year. Carson, I think a lot of people are sleeping on him because I think of what happened last year. I understand going into this year, there's a lot of pressure. With Frank Wright, I think as a collective unit, the Colts. He's coming into a better situation. You have Terry McLaurin. You get a healthy Curtis Samuel, Dobson. You even have Logan Thomas, and you've got a decent running game with a good offensive line as well. So I really think all of them, I think, will have moderate success. But I think I'll say the most. I think everyone's kind of sleeping on Carson. If you pushed me out of all of these on this list currently, I'd say Baker Mayfield too. I think this is Baker's year to prove his worth as well, because what happened last year, being the scapegoat of Cleveland's failure. Even though I think they rushed him back from that, he gets to play with the guy who didn't want him there, Robbie Anderson. You also play with probably the most underrated DJ Moore. I think everybody on this list, like I said. Well, those guys, even including Jacoby Brissett, will have moderate success this year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Hey, look, as long as C-Mac is healthy, I think Baker's going to shine. And even with D-Mac not healthy, I think he has a couple weapons in DJ Moore and that backup Chuba Hubbard, Robbie Anderson, like you said, he can do it. Now, what I did hear, shout out to my guy Johnny Dean, who was talking about this. CMC thinks strained his calf in practice, so he is on the injury report. I've looked on my fantasy, and it's not. He still shows that he's playing
this week. Yeah,
he's still playing.
He's playing. Yeah, he's playing.
So we're good. But just that is definitely something to take a look at. Oh man, hey Sean, leave my Falcons out of this. We do doggone. Oh, you know what? Let's start there. I'm going to start on this side. Who I think is going to succeed. I agree. Matt Ryan, honestly. Russ has the position. I think it's going to take a little longer. Baker, we'll see. Let's flip this over to who we think is going to struggle the most. And I am going to go to Atlanta.
I was also going to go to Atlanta.
Mariota. Okay.
I think we all agree it's Atlanta, right? Mariota there. I don't know.
It's between Mariota and Geno.
Yeah.
I was going to say Geno personally because I think he's going to struggle in Seattle, even though he's got Tyler Lockett and DK Metcalf. Geno's got to get out of his own head and realize that he has potential there. He's got to show up. Let's be honest. Geno's been in the league a long time, and he's had a few opportunities to start. And I think this is the one. If he really wants to show that he can play in this league, now is the time. You've got decent receivers and a decent running game. So I mean, you got to, and the offensive line got better as we've all talked about after Russ left.
Yeah.
So you've got your opportunity now to absolutely show what you can do. They gave you the ball. Now you got to run with it, Geno. So I'm interested to see. But I do think out of this list, I would have picked Geno as the guy to have the least amount of success right now at this point.
Yeah. I have to agree. And look, he did have the weapons. Yeah, I really shout him out real quick because like you said, Nick, he has bounced around. He has been in a number of different places. And coming out of college, he was highly touted out of West Virginia, and it didn't really pan out. But they did see something in him. They saw something in him that, the coaches like that. Maybe they wanted him in there. I'm glad for that. But Nathan, who do you think is going to struggle? Do you agree that it's Geno or Mariota, or who do you think is going to struggle?
I think it's Mariota because the Falcons stink. I'm sorry.
Fair
point.
Hard to argue.
It's now that I think they've realized, okay, we have to do it for the future. There's no disrespect to those guys. Like Drake London, Kyle Pitts, you have a creator who I think will be a star in this league. Now you have to build for the future. Like Mariota's just a placeholder until they figure out what their identity is. Like Geno's is a better situation because you got a respectable defense with Jamal Adams back there. You still have a decent offense that can get that can put up 20, 25 points in. Like the Seahawks weren't that bad last year. Just the team was just different. So I think Geno will have. I think the Seahawks will have a lot more success than the Atlanta Falcons. I mean, Falcons are not really playing for much this year, other than let's be respectable, and try to be competitive, but know that we're rebuilding.
They're playing for Will Anderson.
Well, Alabama, they want that pick for sure. Look, I you know what? I'm in agreement with you guys. I mean, I just don't think, we know Atlanta doesn't really have a running game. They're trying to do it with Cordero Patterson, and that's just not going to work it out. Geno, like you said, Nick, Geno, they've added a lot of pieces. So for all intents and purposes, Geno should at least be moderately successful, like Nate was saying. I want to look at the first person we talked about. Nick, first person you talked about was Mitch. And it's not because he can't do it. There are things, like you said, him reading is a little bit, struggles with that. But I think that's a situation where you have somebody right behind you that has proved to be the fan favorite. It's proved to be people love Pickett. You know what I mean? They're all about it. I just think that's going to affect the amount of time that Mitch gets. If Mitch doesn't come in here and succeed right away, I think those people in Pittsburgh are going to be calling for, Mitch's head and let's get the rookie in here. And while it might not be right, and I think Tomlin's going to give him a little bit more time, I think that Mitch he's really kind of, we talked about in college, hot seats. I think he's really on a hot seat to kind of make some things happen because, like Nathan has talked about, the rest of the AFC North is rearing to go. Now, Cleveland, but Cincinnati, we're ready to do it. Lamar is rearing. He knows he has the ball out this year for the Ravens.
Yep.
Pittsburgh, look, they got to the playoffs barely, by the skin of their teeth. I think they're really needing him to do something because, look, they don't want to have a losing season for the first time under Tomlin.
Nope.
So,
yeah, I agree. I mean, I'm pulling for Mitch. Don't get me wrong. I'm pulling for Mitch. I hope he does well.
Wait a minute.
I think he got a raw deal. I think he got a raw deal in Chicago, so I got to pull for Mitch. I got to pull for Mitch in Pittsburgh.
Yeah. Let's be honest. Like, watching Ben Roethlisberger was like watching Michael Jordan, almost. Like
in the later years.
Where does this go?
In the later years.
I want to know where this is going. Dylan.
With
What
the
are you
Wizards.
talking about?
Yeah, you got to say that part. With the Wizards.
Yeah, no, I thought they were talking about prime Michael Jordan.
What? Right. What are you talking about? Nate needs some sleep. Stop being up late at night doing podcasts. You got to need some sleep, bro. What are you talking about? No, I'm kidding.
Like, he was a year older. Like, I don't think that's fair to put that much pressure on Mitch. Your team,
I agree,
needs to be rebuilt. I mean, let's be honest. You gave a little too much offense on Najee's shoulder, and that may come back to bite them. I mean, your defense wasn't healthy last year for the most part. I mean, you get healthy. I just think that I don't think that's fair to say, okay, you need at least we need to win the AFC North. If we win it, we're putting this kid in. And I don't think putting Kenny Pickett in there week 1, like, I think that's setting him up to fail. I think you need.
I agree. I definitely agree. I'm just saying he's going to be in a position where he's going to have to look over his shoulder the most because of the fan thing.
I don't think that's the case. I just think they just Mitch just has to go out there and just be a game manager, be a Trent Dilfer. That's it. He don't get.
If he messes up in that category, if he messes up doing that, what I'm saying is not negative to Mitch. I'm not saying he cannot do it. I'm saying that it is clear that the fan base in Pittsburgh are all interested in the young guy. Mitch is a stopgap, in my opinion, for what people are waiting for. I don't want Pickett to come in. I'm just thinking he's going to be the one where the media, not us, but the media is going to say, Mitch, watch out. He threw 2 interceptions. Pickett, look at Pickett. Is it right? No, not at all. It's not right. But I'm just saying that's what the narrative is going to be.
No, I hear you. I'm just saying, I'm not going to put him out there right now. If Mitch, if we put Kenny Pickett out there and he struggles, what's the excuse? Oh, it's rookies go through it. Like, no, if you're putting an expectation like, oh, Mitch struggled, put Kenny in there, then what? So
I understand. I get what you're saying. I'm leaning towards the Dolphins situation from a couple years ago with Fitz. You got Fitz in there. He's doing great. He's having a winning season, and they yank him mid-year because they're like, oh, we want to go in the new direction. I'm looking at San Francisco with Jimmy G. Took him to the Super Bowl a couple years back, has him in the NFC Championship, and now because he has injury problems, they're going to put him out for the heir apparent. You know what I mean? What everybody's trying to do to Jordan Love. I just think that's what the league is trying to do, stuff like that. They're trying to go, let's go for this guy. Come on, he's the new guy. Except in Washington. We don't let that guy say that.
I'd love to see if Mitch Trubisky was actually really good. Really, really good. Because then what do you do with Kenny Pickett? Kenny Pickett's 24 already. So you really kind of need him to play either this year or the start of next year. Or else you're just wasted. He's not going to have as many years as Trey Lance, who came in at 21, or someone like Patrick Mahomes. True. So Pickett has to get in somewhat quickly. So if Trubisky becomes actually the guy he was supposed to be coming out of UNC, then Kenny Pickett's already just going to be in a Jordan Love situation.
We'll see. Hey, shout out to Johnny D and saying Sean Spitzer, Pittsburgh don't hear the narrative, bro. The Roonies hear Tomlin. Absolutely. That's why. So that's why. Mitch will probably get in here. But look, we got to move on. Like you said, under 20 minutes until the game. Didn't want to address this. Zagnif Production said, "Come on, Nate. I gave your Terp some props, some mad props yesterday. Et tu, Brutus. Et tu." Oh,
Brute.
ah,
That's because you talked about his Falcons. He got upset.
Yeah. Said they were garbage. Ladies and gentlemen, let's talk football game day preview. Let's talk football Sunday game day preview. We are here, and let's go ahead and talk about these. Go into the early games first. I'm going to come around the board. We have Baltimore versus New York, Jacksonville, Washington, Cleveland, Carolina, Atlanta, New Orleans, Chicago, San Francisco, Cincy, Pitt, Philly, Detroit, New England, Miami, and Indy, and Houston. Dylan, what is the game you are most excited about on this list?
I'll say for early morning, I'm going to take Chicago versus San Francisco because you got two quarterbacks from last year's draft playing, Justin Fields and Trey Lance.
Yeah.
The Bears are definitely in rebuild mode. With they lost Allen Robinson, they lost Khalil Mack.
So
they have no more defense except for Eddie Jackson, who's definitely fallen off since he was.
Dylan.
But it's Darnell Mooney. I have him on my fantasy team. I need him to do well, but he's going to be good. He's the only receiver there, so it's going to be a very interesting game because these one team with a new quarterback with a ton of people around him, even without Kittle this week, versus the Bears, who are a very young team, got a lot of new faces around, especially on defense and such. So that I think this could be a very fun game to watch. I don't think it's gonna be too close. I think San Francisco is eventually gonna win by 2 possessions or more, but it's gonna be a fun game to watch, I would say.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. And Nathan, I'm coming to you real quick. Andrew, I'm not putting that comment up because my mom might be watching, buddy. You can't do it, buddy. Can't do it.
Wow.
But chuck it.
Hello.
Football. Yes, I agree. Nathan, what is your thought? What game are you most looking forward to on this list?
Cincinnati versus Pittsburgh. I'm curious because Cincinnati, they kind of just mauled us in Pittsburgh last year, so I'm curious to see how they go. New York versus Philadelphia. New England versus Miami. A new offense with Miami. Curious to see how Tua will look. New offense with now that Josh McDaniels is not in New England. Curious to see how that looks. Actually, I'm curious to see with Baltimore and the Jets. Yeah. Joe Flacco, former number 5 here. Everybody for Baltimore is back except Ronnie Stanley and J.K. Dobbins. Ronnie didn't travel with the team.
And Marcus Peters is out as well.
Marcus Peters is back. Marcus Peters is there. He was probably run up the steps of MetLife.
I think he's out there this week. I think he's inactive.
Okay.
Oh. Well, there you
go. Those are my 3 games.
Yeah, he's inactive. Marcus Peters.
Those are your 3 games. Okay, cool. Yep. Big Nick, what you got, man? What games you looking for?
Well, I'm gonna echo Dylan a little bit because obviously, not just being a Chicago fan, but Chicago, San Francisco. Because like you said, you got Trey Lance making his 3rd start ever in the NFL against another fellow draftee from that year. Justin Fields taking over the Bears for sure now, being the guy. And again, it should be an interesting game. I know obviously that San Francisco has better weapons than we do. I'm not that much of a homer. I can admit that. But there's a lot of intangibles here. We're playing at home. It's a very rainy day.
Yeah.
Running game is probably going to play a factor in that. The passing could be interrupted, which takes away some of the weaponry of San Francisco. If Trey Lance can't throw the ball in this wet weather. Yes, he's still got a great running back. So, yes, it'll be a running game type of day in Chicago, I'm thinking. Shake your head all you want, Nate. If you've ever watched games played in the rain in Chicago, bro, that's all I'm saying. Y'all want to talk. You ain't in Chicago, and y'all want to talk about weather plays a part here, my friend. You know that. No, I'm just saying. But, yeah. The weather will affect this game. It's going to be a soppy field. You're going to see some sloppiness, I'm sure.
So bad. I was watching them clean off the turf. It's like a layer of water above the grass.
I know. Why do you think we're bargaining for a new stadium, my friend? Exactly. Yeah. Look, for people who don't know really quickly, honestly, the Bears field is owned by our Chicago Park District, okay? We have to do what they say. We lease from them, which is why we're fighting to get our own stadium for the team because there's so many improvements that need to be made. Our stadium sucks. I'll say that first. Our stadium sucks. It looks like a damn rocket ship. When they remodeled it in 2003, all they did was they covered all the columns that made it look nice and put this spaceship in the middle of it, okay? It's horrible. I hate our field. But the fact of the matter is we have to play there until we get a new one. So it is what it is. This is why I say the Bears will at least are better prepared for what field we have. Yeah. And again, I took Bears +7. I'm going to stick with it. Not that they're going to, even if they lose, I don't think they'll lose by the 2 possessions that Mr. Walsh so elegantly stated earlier. But I think it'll be a great game to watch. Sloppy in the rain, and hopefully my Bears come out on top. But the other game, Philly-Detroit. Philly-Detroit. I want to see if everybody drinking the Detroit Kool-Aid is right, and Detroit comes out to play today. I definitely want to see that. I did take them against Philly plus the 4 points they're getting. So, look, those are 2 games I really want to see. Philly-Detroit, Chicago-San Francisco.
Yeah. Yeah, for me, speaking of terrible fields, I want to see Washington. I want to see Washington in the rain playing Jacksonville.
This is going to be such an interesting game.
I have picked Jacksonville to win this game. I have them as I think they're gonna surprise some people this year. I think they're gonna be much improved. I definitely that's not an indication of how I feel about my team. I just think if we had Brian Robinson, I think things would be different because this would be a perfect day for us. We'd be running the ball hardcore. We wouldn't have to really worry about tossing it all over the place. But I think since it's raining and everything, and number one thing McKissick has an issue with is his fumbling issues. So it's going to be very interesting to see how that plays. But I too, like you, and with that Philly-Detroit game, Philly's supposed to be the dream team. Last time they had the dream team with Vince and then Vince Young, they stunk. So let's see what if their dream team is. And great point. Set up your lineup. I gotta do that before this show next time. But yeah, Philly, Detroit. I want to see what Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jared Goff, who somebody I won't name names, but somebody says is going to be a Pro Bowler this year.
Hey, he's going to way to go, Nate. Hot take.
I want to see that. I definitely want to see that and see how they play out. And then, Atlanta, New Orleans. Shout out to Foogs. Shout out to Kyle Yates. All those guys that are Atlanta fans. I want to see if everything we've said about, them kind of being a dumpster fire is true. Because let's be honest, a lot of people have said that in the last couple of years. But the last couple of years, they've been in the hunt. Last year, they were in the hunt till late in the year, and the Saints ended up getting in there. So the Falcons are not terrible. They got Casey Hayward, A.J. Terrell, 2 of the best young corners in the league, and I think a lot of people are sleeping on them. So we shall definitely see. But we need to move on to the late games today, and there's not many of these. There's Green Bay, Minnesota, New York versus Tennessee, KC, Arizona, and Las Vegas versus Chargers. I'll start with this one. I'm going to go Chargers versus Raiders. We already know what that AFC West is going to be like. It's going to be high flying. It's going to be, bloodbaths. It's guns ablazing every single week. So this is going to be a high matchup. I got, as my dark horse this year, to go to the AFC Championship, I got the Chargers. I got Justin Herbert as like my MVP. I am with Derwin James, both of that defense. I'm really excited for what they're bringing. Nick, what game, real quick, what game are you looking for in this matchup?
Well, I always look at my division first. Yeah. Well, I always look at my division first, Green Bay, Minnesota. I want to see if Minnesota can pull it today. I mean, Justin Jefferson, Adam Thielen, Dalvin Cook, and of course, as always, everybody's favorite Michigan State quarterback, Kirk Cousins. So, Kirk, we laugh at him, but guy's been a top 10 passer in the last 5 seasons. So let's see if Kirk and the boys can pull it today against Dylan Walsh's Green Bay Packers.
Mm-hmm. I like that. Nathan, what do you think? What game most excites you over here?
Las Vegas versus Los Angeles. Justin Herbert's MVP this year.
Yeah. Oh, I like that. Yeah, I like that one. And Dylan, what you think?
That's it. I would think, Kansas City, Arizona. With Kyler Murray, without Hopkins, without a lot of players. Kansas City also with missing Tyreek Hill for the first time. So you got new wide receiver cores. You got some losses on defense for Arizona, and Chiefs have never had a really great defense. So it's gonna be a very interesting game.
Yeah, I'm interested to see. And nobody picked the New York Giants against Tennessee. Funny thing is, the last couple of years, this is one of those games that the Giants would shock the world and win.
I could see the Giants definitely.
And you're like, what?
I could totally. Especially if Saquon is back healthy and running. I can see them beating Tennessee. Derrick Henry versus Saquon Barkley. Here you go.
Yeah, let's see and that's what I am eager to see. I am ready to see what Derrick Henry shows up. We saw him in the playoff game with the plate in his foot, and he just didn't look great. The only time in his career I've ever seen him get brought down by one guy on the first hit.
Yeah.
And it was kind of like, ooh, what? That's not Mr. Stiff for him. So We will quickly move on. There are two more games after that. The Sunday night game, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers beat the Dallas Cowboys. Sorry, I didn't mean to say that out. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers will beat the. I can't get it out without saying it. So, hey, Dylan, does Dallas have any chance in this game? Right.
No.
No,
Because Dallas, they have CeeDee Lamb, and that's it, wide receiver wise. And so the strength is going to be the running game with Tony Pollard and Ezekiel Elliott. But the entire Buccaneers defense is built to stop the run. But the Vita Vea, Levante David, and Devin White, the whole defense is just built to stop the run, which is what Dallas will be trying to rely on this week. And especially Dallas not having Tyron Smith, having 10 players just known for holding people. So I don't think Dallas. I think Dallas is probably gonna get blown out this year.
Yeah. See, this is what you call the. I need to find something else to do on a Sunday night because two of the teams I care the least about I don't want to watch. Yes. So I got to figure if there's a Sunday night movie I can watch instead of this football game. But I think
Tampa Soldier Field.
Sorry, Nate.
The show is Soldier Field. Oh my God, it's so bad. Soldier Field is so bad.
Nate,
I know. I told you it would be. Told you.
Sean, does that make me crazy? Tom Brady will throw 5 touchdowns tonight.
Uh-oh.
That make me crazy.
5 touchdown passes. Count them. 1, 2, 3.
WFLD.
Wow. And Nick, what are you thinking about? Are you actually already told me what you think? You wish we weren't even.
Sorry, I'm going to have to find a Sunday night movie for this one because I could care less about either team. But like I said, I think Tampa will win. Sorry, Nate, I took your thunder earlier. My apologies. But yeah.
And to you, Monday Night Football, the revenge game, Denver versus Seattle. What do you think, Nick?
Nate or Nick? I'm sorry, I missed that.
Nick.
My ears are plugged. I got a cold this week. I apologize. Denver all the way. -6.5 this week. I'm taking Denver. Revenge game, whatever you want to call it. Now it's come out that Pete Carroll and Russ had differences of opinion about a lot of things. So I think Russ, especially with his new team, will want to just destroy Seattle, especially at home with the 12 are there. But again, it might be a little closer than people think. I don't think so. Like I said, -6.5. I'll take Denver giving up that many points. Again, it's a time for Geno Smith to basically put up or shut up, right? So let's see what Geno does, but I still think Denver comes out on top. Russ just has too much for this Seattle team.
Gotcha. Nathan, what do you think?
Seattle, I say Seattle keeps it close, 27-24.
They win it?
Okay. Yeah. They win it or lose it?
Seattle wins.
Seattle wins. Okay. All right.
Oh, Dylan, wow. Okay. All right.
I was also going to take Seattle winning as well. I think Denver is going to struggle. It's like first game of the season, new quarterback, new system. Going to struggle to start off. I think they'll eventually catch fire. But I think Seattle with Rashad, even without Kenneth Walker, it's questionable. I don't think he's going to play though. I think Rashad Penny actually shows when healthy he can be a #1 running back, and I think Seattle wins this game.
Okay. I'm going to go with Nick. I completely agree with you, though, Dylan. I think that Seattle is going to struggle. I think it's going to take Seattle a little bit of time to get into their system just with him there. But I do think that Denver's going to pull this game out. I think they're going to get this W early. I just don't think Denver can afford to fall behind in the AFC West. And I think they're going to get that W today. Really quick, we have to let you go. The games are starting uber quick. Actually, the games have already started. So we are going to let you go, ladies and gentlemen. We appreciate you being here with us. We appreciate all of you guys watching. It's been fun watching the comments and everything. We will be back with you next Sunday and every Sunday for the remainder of the season until the Super Bowl. I will do this real quick. I'm going to go around the board, starting with you, Dylan. Super Bowl, 2 teams. Just who is going to be there and who's winning?
Bills, Packers, Bills win.
Okay. Nathan, what do you think?
Chargers, Packers, Chargers.
Okay.
Bills and pick whatever team in the NFC you like. No, it's very tough for me because I don't think the Rams can. I mean, the Rams might be tough to repeat. I don't think the Packers get back there. Remind you, 1-4 in championship games. Man, I don't even know. I got to be honest with you. Who cares? I don't know. Tampa Bay. Let's give Tom Brady another nod, right? Why not? He's got to retire now, otherwise his wife would divorce him. So One more round, one more shot for Tampa Bay, all right? There you go, Tommy. Take that.
Tampa
Bills
who?
Buccaneers, what the hell?
Bill Buccaneers? Yeah.
Oh, Bills win. No, Bills win. Bills win, but maybe they get back there. Yeah.
I'm with you on that. I say Bills. I think Chargers are going to play the Bills in the AFC Championship, but I got Bills versus Tampa Bay, and I think Bills get the dub. They get the W.
Yeah.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we appreciate you being here with us. Good stuff, fellas. Kickoff is in a bit. Holla at you later. Yeah, we are going to let you go. The season has started, and we are here for every bit of it. Hope you checked your fantasy league. If you didn't, all your 1 o'clock games are locked. So sorry for you. Listen, we got a bunch of shows going on starting today and then going through the rest of the week. We will play them right quick to the end. But we are here. We are done. I'm Sean Spencer. My guy over here, the youngest reporter in the game, Mr. Dylan Walsh. Mr. Late Night, all mornings, all during the day, Mr. Nathan Snell. And my guy, dear friend of mine, Mr. Nicholas, I want the smoke. Rosario, all of which
always,
are on
baby, always.
A number of shows. So stick with us. We appreciate y'all. Enjoy football.